I know a woman who feels every moment with sorrow and joy. She is blown by the wind. Her heart moves so quickly, it tires her to follow. But this world wasn't made for such sensitive things. And I want to sing her a song that will free her to feel what she feels without judgment or shame. All of her power right beside all her pain. And I know a mother who cannot remember. She died to the dreams she once carried inside. And she raised a daughter who cannot forgive her for failing to lead her with wings into life. And I want to sing her a song that redeems her for all that she is that she hasn't become. As she lived for her father, then husband, then son. And Eve, blessed mother of all of creation, they punished you when you reached out for the truth. And all of this violence we witness toward women is the shame we still carry for wanting the fruit. And I want to sing her a song that will bring her into a world where her reach can be wide, free to take what she wants and to never be shy. We find ourselves weeping in small quiet moments, caught with no reason to feel so alone. They tell us our sadness is private to oppression, but our mother's submission is centuries old. And I want to sing you a song that weeps with you for all that you lost as you tried to be good, living the life that a good woman should. And I will not worship the gods of my fathers. I will call to my mother for her to provide. She carries the seasons inside her emotions. The wind is her song and the moon is her guide. And I want to sing her a song that relieves her from the weight she has borne just for bearing a child on a river that's deep in a current so wild. Creation is waiting for us to employ it, to reach with our hands and dig deep in the earth. The dreams of a woman are never indulgent, still they teach us to harden the pains of our birth. And I want to sing you a song that receives you as you wake to a world where you're second to none, where your life is your song and your song will be sung.
Good morning. Welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We're delighted to have you here. It says, look at the camera, but I actually don't know where the camera is. We're delighted to have you. And you. Whether you're attending in person or virtually, it's good to be together, a community of youth and children and adults sharing the values of courage, reverence, and compassion. I'm Steph Ward, she, her, and a member of the board of directors. If you're accompanied by children today, we warmly welcome your whole family. We invite you to visit the Soulwork Center over here by the windows, where you can explore different activities designed to help all ages actively engage with today's worship service. If you have a joy or a sorrow, and you want to share that in the meditation bowl over here, it's located near the Soulwork Center. You can also add it to the chat box if you're attending virtually, but please make sure to gain consent before you place someone's full name into that avenue. For those online, Cyber Social Hour starts 5 minutes after the postlude. In the building, our social hall is once again a hub of connection, informal conversation, and cookies. You can find information at the tables in the social hall about upcoming events, so we hope that you'll check that out. And if you're looking for short structured time of connection and community, we're still having our formalized small group conversations. You can grab your coffee and cookies and then find your way down the hall to the Emerson alcove. And once a small group has gathered, we'll have 20 minutes of focused sharing. What can we do besides worry about climate change? WBUUC has an action plan, and you're welcome to become a part of it. Our church will soon be adding more solar collectors to the roof, and we're going to, so that we use less power plant electricity and lower our carbon emissions. You can contribute to this project by donating to our Climate Action Fund. We ask that you base the amount of your gift on your own carbon emissions from vacation travel. Visit the table in the social hall after the service or the WBUUC website for more information on how you can calculate your emissions for the donation to the fund, or you can just guess and just donate something, because that's what we would do. We're extremely pleased to welcome our guest musician today, Jasper Lepak. Jasper is a child of the Sonoran Desert, a folk Americana songwriter whose remarkable gift for melody is only surpassed by her poetry. Deeply influenced by the many places she has called home, Tucson, Durban, Seattle, and currently Minneapolis, she sweeps across landscapes with an emotional depth that is extraordinary, while her clear, pure voice touches the heart. Jasper will have CDs and merchandise available after the services in the social hall. Welcome, Jasper. Welcome to our church. Together we grow our souls and serve the world in love.
Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together we make it a holy place. I'm Reverend Sarah, and my pronouns are she, her.
I'm Janet Urbanowitz, and my pronouns are she and her. My husband Victor and I have been Unitarian Universalists for nearly 50 years, 48 to be exact, 42 of them in this congregation. Little did I realize the first time I stepped into a Unitarian church, strictly speaking a fellowship, what I would find there and how it would alter my path ahead. As an adult, I could no longer accept the dogma of my childhood faith that I left behind. I found, however, that I still longed for some meaning and spirituality in my life. I came to that first service with no expectation of finding the inspiration I was looking for there, or anywhere else for that matter. I had very little knowledge of Unitarianism then, and thought of it respectfully as a strictly humanist society committed to ethics and living. I was looking for something else, something more. What I first encountered that Sunday morning was a group of open-hearted, open-minded, and very welcoming people. To my great surprise, what I also experienced among them, and have continued to experience more deeply here, was a kind of spiritual awakening. To define oneself as a spiritual or religious seeker, to seek the truth in love, I discovered, is to lead a meaningful spiritual life. I had never thought of religion in those terms, as a kind of journey, a lifetime's journey, as it turns out. It changed my perspective, and it changed my life. Over these nearly 50 years, I have attended many This I Believe services and have heard many church members describe their spiritual journeys with great openness and insight, and sometimes with great courage. I light the chalice this morning in honor of today's speakers, and This I Believe speakers over years past who have moved and inspired us in describing their religious journeys, and in honor of the open-hearted, loving, and accepting members of our congregation who have always responded with such compassionate and supportive listening.
Join me in our opening words. Love is spirit of this church. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 352, Find the Stillness, in the gray hardback hymnal.
Good morning. My name is Amy and my pronouns are she, her. So we have a special tradition here at WBUUC, a tradition where we invite members to share their own stories. We ask them to open a window into their lives and their faith journeys and speak to us a few times a year. And so in honor of this tradition, we then created another new tradition where I bring not a story, but a box with me. You might be familiar with this tradition by now. And so I invite you, as I share with you the contents of my box, maybe imagine what might be in your box. This isn't an ordinary box. What I have in here is all of the things that I believe. And every one of you has a box kind of like mine, whether you know it or not. And these boxes are a little heavier than one might think. They're full of all of the different things that we have come to believe over our lifetime. And some of these beliefs are about God, about nature and animals, about the stars, about how life came into being, about right and wrong, about ourselves, about other people, and about what is most important in life. All of these beliefs, which we get from our parents and our playmates, our own experiences, from the TV, from the internet, for better or worse, from our church, all of these beliefs go right into our belief box. And we're adding to this box every single day of our lives, beginning with the day we are born. For example, in my box, I have a paper chain covenant, like the one you see up there that we created a couple weeks ago, to remind me that we need one another and we should work toward right relationship in all that we do. I also have a chalice to remind me of my church home and to work for justice. I have our 7 UU principles and our 8th proposed principle. I have 5 smooth stones of liberal religion. I have items given to me by loved ones to remind me of the love that surrounds me always. I have an acorn to remind me of the wonder of the natural world that surrounds me. And I have a dinosaur. Not exactly sure how it got in there, but to remind me of fun and awe and wonder and imagination. In Unitarian Universalist congregations, we recognize that what we each carry in our belief boxes can be really, really different. My box is different from your box, and yours is different from everyone else's. Our beliefs matter, but as Unitarian Universalists, we are also called to pay attention to how we hold our belief boxes. Unitarian Universalists carry our boxes like this. We carry them with the top open, so that new ideas and experiences can get inside, and old beliefs can be set aside when we're called to do so. Having the top off the box can be a little scary sometimes. Learning new things that challenge old beliefs can be really hard work, but it is important work. When our boxes are wide open, it means we can let in stories and wisdom from people with experiences different from our own. We also carry the boxes in front of us so that we can see and examine what goes in to make sure it makes sense and fits with the other things that we know to be true. And so we can make sure that what goes in is not hurtful to ourselves or to anyone else. We carry our boxes carefully, just as we carry all things that really matter to us. Our beliefs are really important. The things that we believe show up in our lives each and every day, so we hold these boxes carefully and reverently, knowing the power of what's inside. Most importantly, we need to be willing to sometimes carry these boxes together. Holding new ideas and challenging old ideas is heavy work, and it requires community. We need one another. This is what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. Our beliefs matter, but so does how we hold them. So let's hold them together carefully. We're going to sing together. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing number 1057, Go Lift It Up, as our children, youth, and facilitators make their way to their circles.
We're very excited about our new social justice partner, Open Arms. This nonprofit provides free, nutritionally appropriate meals to people living with serious illness. In its 35 years of operation, Open Arms has delivered over 10 million free meals. That's amazing. An additional facility just opened earlier this month in St. Paul to augment their Minneapolis facility. See the information in the e-news about their open house on February 4th. Please watch this 1-minute video clip, and then we will pass around the collection plates.
People give up their time, their life, and come in here for people they don't even know.
One of the most amazing things is the volunteers come from all different walks of life. And somehow it all works. It brings people together because they're doing something they care about.
I think the joy is knowing that someone's going to receive this meal and it's going to make their life better.
You never know who you're standing next to and who you're helping.
Well, for me, it's been wonderful. I wouldn't be here for 19 years if it wasn't.
I've been involved for nearly 20 years because there is nothing more powerful than bringing food to people.
It's not complicated.
If I didn't have open arms, I wouldn't be eating as healthy. I know that.
What can I say? It's great. Open arms have been a big benefactor in my life.
I think it's one of the most phenomenal stories of the entire AIDS crisis here.
Making food for people is an act of love. Delivering food to people is an act of love. It's just a magical place to be.
Portia Hurley is a representative from Open Arms, and they will be in the social hall after the service and can provide more information if you'd like to hear more. Thank you for your gift and supporting our new WBUUC social justice partner, Open Arms. We'll pass collection plates now, and you can also donate in 3 other ways. Through the WBUUC webpage, you can send or leave a check in the locked wooden box outside the front office, or you can use the text to give option on the order of service or in the chat box, and I think it's also on the screens. However you give, please indicate the keyword open. Thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life that we live together.
You are measuring success by the wrong things. It's not in the money or in the praise you receive. It's in the way you are faithful to your wildest dreams. You are measuring success by the wrong things. You are measuring your beauty by the wrong things. It's not what you look like or what others might see. It's in the way you love. It's in the joy you bring. You are measuring your beauty by the wrong things. And baby, I know how you wake up some days. You look at the world and you can't find your place. When it feels like the whole world is measuring you, there's only one thing you can do, darling, stay true. Measuring your worth by the wrong things. It's not what you own or how high you can reach. It's in the way you are kind. It's in the song your heart sings. You are measuring your worth by the wrong things. Stay true, darling, stay true. Stay true, to your own heart, stay true. When it feels like There's only one thing you can do, darling, stay true. Darling, stay true. Darling, stay true.
Our first This I Believe speaker this morning is Teal Bassett. Many of you may be familiar with Teal because in addition to being a worship associate and sharing chalice lighting words with us regularly, she's head of our greeting team, and she and her family can often be found in the lobby there greeting folks as they come in. Eric, Linnea, and Elsa are really proud of Teal for sharing her story this morning. So please give Teal a very generous welcome.
Good morning. What an honor it is to be in front of my congregation. I have so much respect for this space and all of you. So thank you for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about who I am and my spirituality. My childhood was very normal. My mom's main role was caretaker of the household, while my father's was working outside the home. I have 2 siblings. I'm in the middle. We grew up in Stillwater, where I still reside today. My parents didn't take us to church and were not interested in raising their children in a religious environment. However, my maternal and paternal grandparents were very religious, one Lutheran and the other Catholic. And when I visited my grandparents during holidays or for a long weekend, I attended church with them. I remember being in awe of the ritual and the prayers. Even though I didn't really understand what it meant, church felt special and pious. As I got older into my teens, most of my friends attended church, and I was invited to a lot of social events involving a youth group or something similar. My best friend was Baptist. She spent a lot of time trying to get me to accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. She didn't want me to go to hell. But I had too many questions that she couldn't answer, and eventually she let go of trying to save me. And when I went to these youth group special events, I felt out of place and uncomfortable. Even though I was fascinated in the belief systems of these organizations, I did not believe them myself. I decided church wasn't for me. My father was diagnosed with lymphoma when I was 12, and he was sick for 2 years, ultimately dying from complications of a bone marrow transplant. While I was still forming my understanding of what religion was, I was thrust into the chaotic world of heartbreak and grief, where too many well-meaning people told me things like, God needed him in heaven, or trust in God's plan. Those sentiments were not comforting at all and further distanced me from God. Thankfully, Dad was able to share with me some of his beliefs before he passed, which helped me understand that spirituality isn't always found in church and a God. Dad didn't believe in heaven or hell, but he did believe that he would become a part of the earth again and his spirit would move on. There is comfort in knowing that Dad is still all around me in nature. My mother's spirituality influenced me as well. Her career is in energy and body mechanics work through Reiki and cranial sacral massage. She is a healer and has changed many lives as a therapeutic body worker. She taught me that our ancestors' energy is within me, their strength and love, which I can call upon to encourage me in times of crisis and for healing. After my dad died, life went on as it does, no matter how heartbroken I was, and I went on to college. Gustavus Adolphus College, a small liberal arts school in the Lutheran tradition. I mainly studied world religions and sociology. My own personal ideas of spirituality were not represented in what I was studying. I was left with the understanding that I could study and admire, but not belong. However, I was developing my own personal spirituality. During my senior year of college, I had the privilege of singing in the Gustavus Concert Choir. And, well, that felt like a religious experience. I was singing with 80 of my peers, making beautiful music, just for the sake of making beautiful music. We had different backgrounds, different stories, different beliefs, but we were working together to create some incredible music that many, many people appreciated. I was experiencing a phenomenon called collective effervescence, originally devised by sociologist Emil Durkheim, which is the feeling of energy and harmony when people are engaged in a shared purpose. Wow, I liked being a part of a shared purpose, full of energy and harmony. I was in the presence of the beauty of what humanity could create. We weren't fighting about who was right or wrong, or who might be saved or condemned. We were just a crew of awkward 20-year-olds making something special together. And that is where I look for spirit, in music and art and parades, and even the Women's March. People coming together with a shared purpose to improve our existence in this chaotic world. I believe in that. After graduation, I stopped singing in choirs, but I did find something else that helped me find spirit. I practice yoga to find that feeling of effervescence individually. During the end of a particularly sweaty yoga class, the instructor asked us to lie quietly on our mats, and she guided us through a meditation. The class was asked to notice our heart beating and to fill it with loving, tender energy. Then she asked us to send that energy out into the room, to watch it swirl around and to let it land on our fellow classmates. Suddenly, I could see everyone's beautiful love energy floating around me. I allowed it in while sharing my own love. It was human love swirling around. That feels like spirit. I don't believe in the traditional Christian God, but I do believe that we are all God, full of love, strength, and wisdom, which we can share with one another. In concluding my beliefs, I love being a Unitarian Universalist. I am lifted up through our rituals. I am reminded of my dad when we worship and care for the earth. I feel that collective effervescence when we sing, and I swirl you all with my love energy, including from my ancestors. So indeed, I am a spiritual person with religious beliefs. My young, heartbroken self would never believe it, but here I am, belonging. Life goes on as it does, and I am here with you and for you. And my gal Taylor Swift sings it best. Best believe I'm still bejeweled when I walk in the room. I can still make the whole place shimmer.
And here we are all shimmering right now together. So I'm gonna just put my guitar in a different tuning and tell you a little bit about this song. Music for me has been so healing. I started writing songs about 20 years ago, and it was a place for me to figure things out and, yeah, to kind of feel like I belonged in a way, because I'd always felt like an outsider myself too in the churches I grew up in. And I just really believe that we all have this unique channel inside of each of us that is a creative channel, or just emotions come through, and it's so important to keep that open, and each of us has different gifts and different wisdom to offer. And I wrote this song after I went to this wonderful music festival in Sisters, Oregon, where I was amazed by all the performers, and I found myself comparing my own talents to theirs, which is never, ever helpful. So I wrote this as a bit of a meditation. It's called River Song. A river of song flow through me. Let me be a riverbed for your melody, O river of song flow through me. O river of joy, be my guide. Take me to the water where the sun makes the river shine. O river of joy, be my guide. O river of sorrow, do not stay. Help me cry the tears I need to cry, then be on your way, O river of sorrow, do not stay. O river of peace, make me whole. Heal the hurt and anger that make war deep inside my soul. O river of peace, make me whole. O river of truth, light my way. Walk me through the darkness, hold my hand when I feel afraid. O river of truth, light my way. O river of love, fill me up. Let me be the one who gives everything I've got. O river of love, fill me up. O river of song, flow through me. Let me be a riverbed for your melody, O river of song, flow through me.
Our next This I Believe speaker is Ginny Johansson, who with her beloved Ingrid has been a member of the congregation since 2017. Ginny is a former nursing professor and an avid outdoors person. She is an invaluable member of the land stewardship team, bringing her chainsaw several times in the last couple of years, including cutting up a tree that fell in our parking lot and hauling the wood away all single-handedly. Ginny is unable to be with us in person today, and you will understand why when you see her video. But we recorded this video here in the sanctuary right after Christmas time, so you will see our greenery in the background. Please give a generous applause to Ginny today.
Hello, my name is Ginny Johansson. My pronouns are she, her. Here's my situation. I have glioblastoma with a few months left. This is not a death sentence, it's a gift. This gives me enough time to tell people how much they mean to me, to get my affairs in order, to do a few bucket list things, like we want to go out to the Native American Museum in Washington, D.C. It gives me enough time to say goodbye. There are only two things that I really believe. Nothing else, everything else is just theories and questions. So number one, God is love. Number two is love never dies. I consider myself a happy agnostic. I don't believe God can be fully known or defined by our finite, limited minds, labeled or put into a box with rules and regulations attached. But love seems like a broad enough concept to be useful. I often substitute love for Lord or our Father in sacred texts. For example, love is my shepherd, I shall not want. And yes, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for love is with me. Love restores my soul. I see God in all your faces, full of love and compassion, and all your offers of help in this time of crisis for me and Ingrid. I see God in nature. A friend once asked me during a very skeptical stage of my life, how can you look up at that beautiful night sky and not believe in God? So I had to think about that. And I did think about it, and I realized the true miracle was not necessarily the night sky, but the fact that we have the eyes to see it, and we have the minds to comprehend it, and we have the hearts to be moved to awe by it. I had the same mind-blowing experience when I took biochemistry in college, and I had to memorize on a molecular level all the complex steps of photosynthesis, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and other truly miraculous workings of the human body. Of course, I forgot the details as soon as the final exam was over, but I was left with the same sense of awe at the complexity of it all. Lewis Thomas, who also wrote The Medusa and the Snail, and he was president of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute, talked about this massive endorphin release at the time of death so that people and animals don't die in horrible pain in a world where everyone dies. And I'm thinking, seems like there's no survival value in that process when the animal or the human's already dying. So you can't really chalk it up to evolution or survival of the fittest. So another awe-inspiring coincidence? Or is it a sign of a merciful God of love? Maybe. So, am I afraid of dying? No, not at all. I am afraid of what my loss might do to Ingrid and my other loved ones. But I know they will have help, as will I. I know many hospice nurses, and I know my pain, shortness of breath, and any other problems that come up will be managed, and Ingrid will not see me and not remember me struggling. So where will I draw the line at further treatment? Well, when it will no longer do any good and decrease the quality of my remaining time, or when it will destroy my personality, who I am. I have a lot of questions about what comes next. Maybe I'll get some answers, maybe not, but I do have a lot of theories. So number one, reincarnation. Everybody likes a do-over, right? But many world religions consider it a trap until you reach nirvana. So, okay, maybe. Number two, maybe you get whatever you truly believe at the moment of death. There is some quantum theory that supports this. Not that I'm a physicist, but it would explain to me the traditional Christian's drive to save souls even at the very last minute by acceptance of Jesus as our Savior. I don't know. Number three, maybe there's no such thing as linear chronological time, and we get to go back to chosen previous experiences over and over. Wouldn't that be nice? Is linear time just a way for us to navigate this existence with our limited minds and be able to function in this world? Maybe. Functional MRIs show memory is as powerful as the original experience. And number four, maybe death and all the material world are illusions. This is what I was taught to believe as a Christian Scientist when I was growing up, and it does fit with some Eastern religions. Because death might not be real, maybe we never die, or maybe we've died over and over and just not really known it. Maybe we have such a seamless transition with the same old problems we still have to solve. I expect something goes on. If radio waves and other forms of energy go on across the universe forever, why wouldn't something as resilient and strong as the human spirit also go on? I don't necessarily expect any answers to anything just because I die. My mother was a very wise and loving woman right up to her ending. She saved our family with her kindness in spite of profound dementia in her last few months. She considered dying the last great adventure. In second grade, I took my pet chicken to show and tell. She died when I got home, and I cried. And my mother told me, we don't really know what happened. Just because you can't see her anymore or cuddle with her doesn't mean she hasn't flown back to her mommy who taught her to be so cuddly. And I've always remembered that. So, how am I really doing? How is Ingrid doing? We are in a place of peace and gratitude. We have so much beauty, love, and joy in our lives. I've had meaningful work with my patients and my nursing students, and the ripple effect of all of that. And I have music. I wake up singing most mornings. A neighbor made me a dream catcher to hang in the east window of my bedroom in honor of her brother who died of brain cancer shortly after my own little brother also died of brain cancer. In the middle is a crystal that scatters rainbows around the room when the morning light hits it. And this is a line from an old lesbian folk song by Chris Williamson called Like an Island Rising that I wake up singing. And I'd like to share this song with you.
Crystals turning slowly, spinning like the color blue, and my mind is turning on you like the rainbows round the room. I was out there seeking water, and you were coming up for air. When it began to dawn on us how much the heart can care, and I do care for you. I love you, I'll be there for
So one last word. I love you all more than you will ever know. Thank you.
Join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. We're gathered here today, a community of love and hope. Wherever you are, do whatever you need to do to be in your body, find connection to something larger than yourself. In this season of brightening days and still long nights, we are together. Community that holds each other in our grief and in our successes. We are a group of people who share values, but not beliefs. We heard from two beloved members of the congregation about their spiritual path and where they've landed with their beliefs. We hold the grief and celebration inherent in both. We acknowledge that we can hold the hard things that they shared with us, losses and blessings, love and gratitude. Let's take a moment of silence to take it all in. Today, as we do many days, too many days, we hold in love the family of another young Black man beaten to death by police, Tyree Nichols, in Memphis, Tennessee, earlier this month. The footage of his arrest and beating was released yesterday, and the heartbreak is raw and real right now, especially in the Black community. Another trauma, another loss, another Black man calling for his mama. Holy Mother, Spirit of life, may we be your hands in this world, building a country where this is unthinkable. This morning we hold in our hearts these members and friends of the congregation. We hold Kirsten Lasko as her mother, Anne-Marie Bjornson, has passed last month. Anne-Marie lived a good life, a long life, and died peacefully. We hold Eva, who is asking for more restful sleep for myself and all who struggle with insomnia. And now, let's share into this space of love and compassion the names of those who live in our hearts, so we may hold them all together into and out of this silence. Amen. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit as we sing Spirit of Life, number 123, in the gray hardback hymnal. We will sing it through twice. Spirit of life, come to us. Bring us compassion that helps us bring justice to our lives. Give us roots to be connected, interconnected, and wings to set us free, to open our hearts and minds, to open the circle of our love ever wider. So may it be. Amen.
When the wind blows down Canyon Road, I hear the whispers of desert ghosts. Here in the dust and in the stone, I hear old and new dreams calling. It's New Year's Day in Santa Fe. We came to see the famous art. You and I, a mile of galleries and gardens, our new baby in your arms. We walk past visions fresh on canvas, carved and living in the stone. It's New Year's Day in Santa Fe. A woman walks ahead, her fancy boots, her long fur vest. She is a woman of means. Through the maze of open doors, we wander breathless and unsure. And I sigh and say we'll never have the money to take one home. You touch my cheek and tell me we'll just have to make our own. Pass an old cafe, sign says closed for the day. I hear a song on the wind. The ghost from the cafe, she sings her truth, she knows the way. She sings her song for the beauty of being here. I hear her singing just for the beauty of being here. Changed, that much we know. Still how they carry false promises of fame, false promises of gold. I look at you, our baby in your arms, this dream we have to hold. It's New Year's Day in Santa Fe.